What's up, everybody? Happy Friday to you. We made it. We made it. I might jump on a live stream a little bit later. Going to talk about Trump tapping in Madam Pam Bondi. Like I said in my live stream last night, I like Pam Bondi. I think she's definitely a better option than Matt Gaetz. I don't know why she wasn't the first option. But I think that that's a sound choice. And I'm going to do a little bit more research on Pam Bondi, just read a little bit of her body language and how she articulates a little more. But from what I've seen in the past of Pam Bondi, she's definitely a person with convictions and she seems to be on this right side of the law. So yeah, good tapping. We'll talk more about that too. And you know, I'm one of those people. It's like I let people, they will spout whatever rhetoric, is going to get them the coins. And I've said this before. I do not present content to appease the mindsets or securities of anybody, no matter what color you are, right? And so I look at things in the world, I look at things in society, and I make the objective assessment of them. And whether people want to accept my assessments of things or not, that is their business and not mine, right? They can agree or disagree, right? If you disagree, all I ask is that people have a sound rebuttal to put on the table outside of their feelings or their feelings about my point, or even just their feelings about me as a black woman being able to intelligently articulate my opinions and my thoughts about things based off of the patterns of things that I observe. And with that, I think that again, you have a lot of content creators in the space who are really appealing to what they think another group of people want to hear them say about a certain group of people. Some people need narratives and stereotypes. And as I have come to see it, there's a lot of people that work hard, overtly or covertly to maintain certain ideas about certain individuals and groups. So, you know, Anton Daniels, he's doing a live stream this morning or this afternoon, and he's talking about, he's talking about Jasmine Crockett's racist rant on DEI. And, people can, think what they want to think about DEI. I've never really agreed with the premise and the execution of DEI. I understand some of the underlying purpose behind some of these DEI objectives because some of the main nepotistic and racist people who are kind of creating the scenarios for its existence, they understand it very well. But I look at DEI and how it has been executed and even leveraged, as a way to demean black people, capable black people, and overall bucket black people in this lower intelligence bucket in which, we need help or handouts for people to, for us to really be able to get ahead and succeed. And there are so many people that need these narratives to be perpetuated just because I think from like a white supremacy standpoint, obviously, no matter how crappy you may feel about yourself, you're not a black person, right? You're still, you're still white. And for some of these people, the wicked ones that come from the Church of Satan, they believe that even it is written in the Bible that they are superior to another race. And obviously, that's just a pure indication of how the clergy have skewed the word of God. And they have infiltrated it with a supremacist Satanism. And many people have a foundation of who they are and how they think of themselves, because of that Satanism. But Off of that, I do believe that when we're talking about people and cultures in American society as it has evolved, I think that it is reasonable to argue that yes, things have improved to certain degrees, but in the improvement of one area, there was just some slick ways to maintain certain things. And so when we look at the top of every corporation, it is undeniable that you are going to see either a Christian or Jewish white individual. More times than not, it's going to be one of their men. Okay, so when they talk about blacks, are they disenfranchised? Um, I would say if they aren't disenfranchised, then why is it that these faces are just the same every time you go? Why is it that black people who have strove to make advancements, get ahead, they are, sort of roadblocked by some little layer of something. And then when you look at what those layers of something is, you realize that those layers of something actually hit everybody indiscriminately, that they don't want to get ahead in society. And in the broad scheme of many things, racism definitely is a part of some of these broad schemes of modern American society, because they need the division, right? And they need to make certain ugly people, the ugliest, weakest, less capable people in society, feel like they're supreme, right? But aside from that, you really have evil capitalists, and I'm not saying capitalism is evil, but you have people who have defiled the American capital system, and they don't care who they hurt indiscriminately. If you are not like them, or you don't come from their little cabals of families that are looking out for each other as they short squeeze everybody else in society. So I think that what many black people are experiencing is, this idea of here, here's the access, here's this, but at the same time, the roadblocks that are there that exist to kind of keep everybody down, many are internalizing those things as things that are directly keeping black people down, when really it isn't really about us anymore. It is about everybody. It is about everybody. It's going to feel like it's just about us because obviously we have not been able to progress as an individual group class in this nation, not to feel these things harder than these other group classes who have been able to get ahead of us, obviously, because, anything that's not black is white, and anything above black is a preference. So I say this to say that, Anton Daniels, he's going in on Jasmine Crockett. He poses this question.
Now, her goal in this conversation, because again, I want to deep dive a little bit deeper on the Millionaire Morning Show. We always bring it back down to the money. That's why it's called the Millionaire Morning Show. Even when it comes to politics, even when it comes to business, even when it comes to crime, where is the money talk in this? Well, Jasmine Crockett is setting the foundation. She's using her college education, her high school education, her middle school education to execute on a few principles. And the one thing that she's doing is she's putting together her thesis and her hypothesis. And the foundation of her argument is based off of the idea that she is she studied finance. I said, okay, well, this is right up my alley. We going right down the right path, right? She studied finance. She says, look, the best finance managers or anybody that's in this industry will tell you that you have to have a diverse portfolio in order to be successful. You have to have a diverse portfolio in order to be successful.
This is
Okay,
very
Anthony
true.
D, let's talk about it. Anton, I'm new to the channel for the most part, and I'm gonna get into Jasmine Crockett. I'm new to going into STEM fields. You keep voting people in the office that's not in your best interest. You keep leaning on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I see the fact that y'all keep picking degrees and fields that's based off of liberal arts and communication and African American studies instead of going into STEM fields. If you're disadvantaged in 2024 going into 2025, it's because your mama put you in that position. So you should either hold her accountable or it's because of your own personal choices. You're no more disadvantaged than anybody else. You're no more. Whenever you can say we've had a black president, we have black billionaires, we have black Congress members, we have black.
I'm going to stop him there. Number one, I have worked with a number of engineers. I actually, before I became a financial advisor, and no, I did not go to school to study finance, right? I was a recruiter for a number of different years. I actually have a communications degree. And despite what anybody says about a communications degree, you are always going to need effective communicators. You're always going to need people who understand really the sequence of the communication process. And within that, even just the basic equations of logic to kind of understand where people are coming from. So it's interesting that people take stabs at the communication degree, but a lot of them, they tongue twist in their rhetoric. I can read it right away, and maybe it would benefit them to go and pick up a communications degree and kind of understand that process and even the process of, different rhetoric forms. But off of that, again, I'm going to go back to my original point that the policies that these governmental agencies, they put in place, many of those they're indiscriminate. They impact people of all colors indiscriminately if you are not in these high elite classes. It's just the way it is, right? And again, because Black Americans have always had roadblocks to our progress, right? We're talking Black Wall Street, right? Where we were doing our thing, minding our own business, and yet the U.S. government felt like that was a threat because they can control the next generations of Black people, okay? We're talking about Black slaves who were not familiar with sophisticated tax codes, who actually did inherit land from their slave masters, because that was a thing too. They were beneficiaries to land. And because of these torrance taxes by the federal government, they short squeezed those people out of their lands who were on fixed incomes with taxes. I think if you kind of look at a lot of the in-betweens of what was going on, the direct threats and attacks against Black people's ability to progress in America over time, you will really understand why every generation of Black people, even though you will see points of progress, because obviously geographically the Black experience is different, right? People are being raised differently from one geographic location to the other. I will argue that a lot of these people, Black people who are victims of cycle of poverty, right? Many of them are the continuous generations of those Black people who were economically pressed post-slavery, fighting for civil rights, and then even after civil rights, even more creative ways to keep them stifled or marginalized in their thinking or their ability to progress in America. So I can get into this all day. I cannot stand the way some Black conservatives love to pander to their white audience by making it seem like Black Americans are delusional. They try to make us seem like even when we put objective viewpoints on the table that we're somehow playing the victim card, right? Because they want to act oblivious, right, to the realities that some of them have experienced, but they just can't put that on the table because, again, they're pandering to the satisfaction of the white mentality that loves hearing black people, you guys need to be accountable. But they're not talking about the many black people who are accountable, the many black doctors, the many black lawyers, the many black financial advisors, insurance professionals, beyond these usual suspect black jobs like social worker and labor jobs. There are a lot of black professionals, marketing directors, right? Those black people exist. And even with those black people, I'm in finances, right? Even with those black people existing, we're not sitting up there talking about, our struggles is because of racism. We're very practical that the many of the things that impact people in society has a lot to do with government economic policies, right? We're realistic of those things, but it's not like we can't step back and see how these patterns over time has impacted the group. And we can objectively talk about these things. So, when people come over here and they think that I'm all on the conservative, black conservative train, and they're expecting for me to be talking like some of your favorites, you got the wrong channel. You have the wrong channel. I'm going to be real all the way about these things, whether you like what you're hearing or not. Nobody's telling you to come over here and agree, but you can come over here and be educated or enlightened, at least, to expand on your way of thinking if you so desire. Anyways, you guys, I will catch you on another one. It's been a while since I did a video because YouTube keeps suppressing all of my content, right? But they keep leeching off of the content, and their little media side chicks leeching off of my content. It's insane. I am their muse. I am their muse. Anyways, you guys, have a wonderful day, and I will probably catch you on a live stream later. Bye. Oh, and thank you so much to those who have recently subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you. And if you did content like this, you're welcome to subscribe as well. I'm not starving for subscribers. I don't take requests. I don't say anything that people need me to say. This channel is about my thoughts, my perspective, and if you kind of rock with them or you want to talk about them, you're welcome. But anything else, you're going to get your feelings hurt and you may get blocked unapologetically. Bye.